What's up, everyone? This is Steven. R. Kelly, R. Kelly. Definitely the topic is hot button topic, to say the least, the last few days in the world of entertainment. And I think it's crossed over and just into common everyday people are aware of this just based upon the incredible, sensational nature of the allegations about surrounding R. Kelly and what he's done or has not done over the course of several years. If you haven't seen the interview, I'll be showing the clips of the interviews that I've had so far. From what I understand, the interview as it took place was over 80 minutes long. I only have about 20 minutes of interview, if that much. So the questions that I have in place, maybe they were asked and it just hasn't been shown because CBS, the network where the interview was conducted, they're basically releasing parts of the interview. Again, their show is not long enough to cover 80 minutes, so they want to try to mix in the interview along with other things that they wish to get done with their particular morning show. So as I bring up those questions, maybe they will be covered later on. But there are questions that I just felt this would have been a good thing to ask right here based upon what was just said. So that was just something I wanted to get on here and raise those points. There are other observations I made which stuck out to me. I'll share those as well. Now, there is something about the nature of interviews. From my understanding, it is generally practiced most often where the person conducting the interview or the producers of the show will give the person that is being interviewed or that person's representative a list of topics that will be covered. They won't necessarily be given the questions that'll be asked, so that give and take between the interviewer and the interviewee will still have that fresh spontaneity to it, not like a scripted, rehearsed interview. So that may so that may be to explain, I guess, the general nature of the interview. I wanted to make sure that with you. Also, something I think that's important to note in a situation like this topic is part of a legal, or at least an upcoming or a pending legal matter that R. Kelly will be involved in. So I would imagine that the legal representation would be sure to make certain topics may be off limits, which may also prevent those questions that I'm thinking about being asked. Maybe that might explain why they weren't asked. There wasn't a choice to be made. Now, speaking of which, I have no idea who is on the legal team that represents R. Kelly, but I can say from my perspective that if I were on that legal representation team, that legal representation of R. Kelly, and I got wind that he was going to do this interview with Gayle King, I would have sped over to R. Kelly's home. I would have tackled him like I was Nitro from American Gladiators to keep him from coming out to do this interview. For those who don't know who Nitro is, or American Gladiators don't know what I'm talking about, go ahead and Google Nitro from American Gladiators and you'll get an idea about where I'm coming from. Those who already know, hopefully you got a nice laugh out of that in terms of how seriously I am about making sure R. Kelly would never have done something like this with an upcoming legal representation. But as he stated, he wanted to be heard. He hadn't said anything. You'll hear him talk about that during the course of the interview in terms of why he's doing this interview now. He said he just wanted to have his voice heard, his side of the story told. And my thoughts that I have here first on that topic, no one needs to hear what you have to say yet. I mean, as much as you may want to have your voice heard, your point of view, your side of the story, there isn't anybody on this planet that needs to hear anything you have to say yet. Now there will be 12 people who needs to hear what you have to say at some point, or at least needs to hear the other side of the story. If you're not going to testify yourself, at least have your legal team present your side of the story in terms of what has happened and what has not happened. But those 12 jury members haven't even been decided upon yet. So again, as of right now, there is no one that needs to hear this. So I mean, it's good for us because it's nice like I said, conversation material, gives us something to have an opinion on. We learn things as well from the whole sensationalized way of presenting the story itself, or not the story. Well, I guess the story of how the events have unfolded. So it gives us something to look at. That whole watching the terrible car accident as you drive by, that type of experience for all of us here. But I did want to make sure I thanked the YouTube channel Ladies Night for the video footage. Definitely thank CBS, like I said, the network that did record the interview itself. So I want to give them proper thanks. I tried to edit the video to present the give and take between Gayle King, between not only R. Kelly, but also his two living girlfriends. Yes, you heard right, two living girlfriends. They're also going to be interviewed. I tried to edit it in a way so that it flowed, I guess, in the way that it would have taken place in real time. I'll stop the interview at points where I have the questions that I would have asked as a result of what was said or not said during the course of the interview. Also, certain thoughts that sprang to my mind, I'll stop it to give you that insight as well in terms of where my mind's going when I see this. And I'm not one to really get into the whole gossip thing of, oh, you can tell he did it, or you can tell he didn't, or I don't think he did it. I don't really get into all of that. I wasn't there. I don't know. But in the absence of knowing, I still have questions myself. So like I said, I'll go ahead and stop that when I have those questions to present that, and definitely share your comments down below in terms of what you think, what you think about my questions, or what you think, period, on your own. Please hit the like and subscribe buttons. Definitely would appreciate that. And without further delay, I'll go ahead and start the interview now.
I am surprised that you agreed to do it. Why are you sitting down with us today?
I'm very tired of all of the lies. I've been hearing things and seeing things on the blogs, and I'm just tired.
What are the lies that you're hearing that disturb you most?
Oh my God, all of them. Got little girls trapped in the basement, helicopters over my house, trying to rescue someone that doesn't need rescuing because they're not in my house, handcuffing people, starving people. I have a harem, a cult. I don't even really know what a cult is, but I know I don't have one,
Have you done anything that you regret? Have you done anything wrong?
Lots of things wrong when it comes to women that I apologize, but I apologize in those relationships at the time I was in the relationships.
Have you broken any laws when it comes to women?
Absolutely not.
The 6-part series interviewed 50 people, family members, your former tour manager, numerous women who all claim that you abused them. Yeah. Are you saying everybody in that documentary was not telling the truth about you? Everybody?
If you really look at that documentary, which I'm sure you have,
I have.
Everybody said something bad about me. Nobody said nothing good. They was describing Lucifer. I'm not Lucifer. I'm a man. I make mistakes, but I'm not a devil, and by no means am I a monster.
I'm going to name the names. Andrea Kelly, your ex-wife, Kitty Jones, Lisa Van Allen, Lisette Martinez, Geronda Pace, Faith Rogers, Asante McGee. You're saying everything they said in that documentary about you is not true.
They are lying on me.
Why would these women say the same thing about you, that you are controlling, that you are abusive, that you tell women when to eat, when to go to the bathroom, when they can sleep, where they can dress? Why would all these women tell these different stories about you if they were not true? And they don't know each other. That defies logic to me.
Right. Until you hear the explanation. You can start a rumor on a guy like me or a celebrity just like that. All you have to do is push a button on your phone and say, so-and-so did this to me. R. Kelly did this to me. And if you get any traction from that, if you're able to write a book from that, if you're able to get a reality show, then any girl that I had a relationship in the past that it just didn't work out, she can come and say the same exact thing.
Are you blaming this on social media?
I'm talking about the power of social media.
Okay, now right here, the question I would have followed up with, and she touched upon it in terms of why is everyone coming up with the same story about the things that you did, and they're all lying, how do they all come up with the same lie when they don't know each other? Now, his response was social media, they can compare notes. So it sounds like they're all saying the same thing, even if they don't know each other. So he's saying, in fact, they know each other enough to at least compare notes to make them all look more believable by saying the same thing. That's what his response was. The question I would ask is, given that a few minutes earlier in this interview, he said that he admitted that he has done some wrong things in terms of relationships with women, and he have made apologies. My question that I would have asked, the way I would have phrased it is, what are the things that you have done wrong that you think might have caused everyone to lie about you? So it's a way of trying to at least find out more information. Like, in other words, he's admitted some wrongdoing in terms of just the failings of a man and woman, male-female relationship. He's made some mistakes as a man. I would have tried to have him expound upon that, get some more information out there that could try to connect some dots. Because obviously right now it's a question of, well, they're saying this about you. You're saying that every last one of them's lying. Can we find some way to bridge that gap between what one person says, what the other one says? Like, if they're lying, how would they all come up with this lie? What did you, if there anything that you would have done that you at least, so it's not like you're attacking him too much, but at the same time, you're giving him the opportunity to at least try to be introspective and find out more about where his failings are that might shed some light on where those lies are coming from. Again, not trying to be too judgmental with him, but as a way of making him feel comfortable with the interview, at the same time giving him a chance to tell us some things that maybe he might not have wanted to know in case he is hiding something from us. So that's what I would have done. But we're going to go ahead and pick back up with the interview from this point. And again, I'll be stopping as I see or hear something that I would have asked, or at least something that sticks out to me.
Have you ever had sex
No.
with anyone under the age of 17?
No.
Never.
No.
I have to tell you, it's so hard to believe that based on all that we've read.
I'm gonna tell
and
you
what
something,
the
Gayle.
women said about you.
I'm gonna
What
tell
the
you
women
something.
said about you.
What women said about me. What women. So nobody's allowed to be mad at me and be scorned and lie on me.
Mm-hmm. So they're lying on you. That's your explanation. They're lying on you.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Absolutely.
You feel that people have maligned your character?
I have been assassinated. I have been buried alive. But I'm alive.
So I think the point you're making is, and correct me if I'm wrong, that you have never held anybody against their will.
I don't need to. Why would I?
Well,
How stupid would it be for R. Kelly, with all I've been through in my way, way past, to hold somebody, let alone 4, 5, 6, 50, you said. How stupid would I be to do that?
I didn't say you
That's
were holding...
stupid, guys.
I didn't...
Is this camera on me?
Yes, it's on.
That's stupid. Use your common sense. Don't forget the blogs. Forget how you feel about me. Hate me if you want to, love me if you want, but just use your common sense. How stupid would it be for me to, with my crazy past and what I've been through, right now I just think I need to be a monster and hold girls against their will, chain them up in my basement, and don't let them eat and don't let them out unless they need some shoes down the street from their uncle.
Robert,
stop it. Y'all quit playing. Quit playing.
Robert.
I didn't do this stuff. This is not me. Y'all, I'm fighting for my life. Y'all killing me with this. I gave y'all 30 years of my career.
Robert.
30 years of my career. Y'all trying to kill me. You killing me, man. This is not about music. I'm trying to have a relationship with my kids, and I can't do it. Y'all just don't want to believe the truth. You don't want to believe it.
At this point, we briefly paused the interview to give Kelly a moment. His publicist helped calm him down.
Okay, now right here, when I saw this for the very first time, my mind immediately jumped to the following I'm going to share with you. This is a video clip. I want to thank the YouTube channel Hebronike, Hebronike, Hebronike. If I'm saying it wrong, I do apologize, for providing the following video clip. This is the first thought that came into my mind. This is actually going to be a video clip of the comedian Steve Harvey. because it's something I'd seen a long time ago, and I don't want to make light of the topic because what I'm going to show you is very funny in my opinion, in terms of how the Steve Harvey presented it during one of his stand-up routines. But he's basically showing you a stand-up routine of his thoughts about O.J. Simpson during his murder trial, and I'm just going to let you watch the video, and then I'm going to go ahead and you'll see the connection in terms of the emotional outburst that R. Kelly just had, and then you'll see what Steve Harvey had to say. And again, Steve Harvey is not talking about this interview with R. Kelly. This stand-up routine is over 10 years old. It's well over 10 years old because you know how long ago the O.J. Trial was. So I'm just going to go ahead and show the video for you now. That way you can try to get an idea of what my thoughts ran to as soon as I saw R. Kelly's emotional outburst.
So I'm going to tell you what else is wrong with it. OJ's reactions ain't right for me. You know, if you ain't did it, act like you ain't did it. You know, OJ need to raise some hell or something. Sitting over there drawing, laughing. Are you listening to the trial? The hell you laughing at, OJ? Your ass up for double murder. Because I'm going to tell you something. I done been to court a whole lot of times. For a lot less than murder and done raised more hell than OJ. Because I'm going to tell you right now, if I'm on trial for double murder and I ain't did it, the gag rule is in effect on me every day. I'm gonna be in there with handcuffs on and toilet tissue in my mouth. That's how you act if you ain't done nothing. OJ sitting up there way too cool. OJ need to trip. OJ need to show me something. Stand up, turn the table over. Say, hey, that's bullshit. Hey, you kiss my ass, you kiss my ass, all y'all kiss my ass. Come on, AC, let's get on up out of here. That's how you act when you ain't done nothing.
So now you see where my thoughts went to. I had not seen that clip in I don't know how many years. It's been, like I said, it's been over 10 years since I saw it. But it was so funny, and it stuck out in my mind because you don't see people who are accused of something that they didn't do. Obviously, it happens. Our legal system doesn't always get the right person. So when how do you remain calm when you didn't do it? You hear all these things being said about you. It's not you. How do you, so this was his comedic take on the whole thing. And to see R. Kelly's outburst, I just thought of this moment instantly. Now, does this mean that this R. Kelly's way of showing he didn't do it so he should be believable? I don't know. I don't even know if R. Kelly had this thing in mind, that he would do this with that emotion, maybe, in other words, with that outburst pre-planned to try to make himself seem believable. I don't know that either. I just know that my mind trying to connect dots as in the strange way that my mind works, that's where it went to immediately as soon as I saw that. So I want to show you guys that so you could see, I guess, the similarity between the comedic stand-up performance and what R. Kelly did. You can take from that what you will. I don't necessarily think it makes him look guilty or innocent any more or less. It's just something, again, that popped into my head. So we're going to go ahead and continue with the remaining or the next portion of the interview. Like I said, I'll still stop it when I have a question or a thought that comes to mind.
I hope this camera keep going.
No, we're going to let the camera keep rolling.
This is not, doesn't even make sense. Why would I hold all these women? Their mothers and fathers told me, we're going to destroy your career.
But Kelly's emotions remained raw.
It's real girls out there missing. It's real young girls out there being abducted, being raped, okay? They really are on chains. They really do have chains on their wrists, and they can't get out.
Robert,
and they're ending up buried in debt.
Robert, we have to have a conversation.
This is
really.
not me.
I don't want you just ranting at the camera.
I came here for them to hear me talk.
But
I need help.
What kind of help?
This is the kind of help I need.
Yes, what kind of help?
I need somebody to help me not have a big heart, because my heart is so big. People betray me, and I keep forgiving them.
You sound like you're playing the victim here. You sound like R. Kelly. You do. When I listen to you,
I'm just
it does
telling
sound
the
like
truth.
You're playing the victim
I'm just
card.
telling the truth. And the reason I'm emotional,
Robert,
and I apologize for that, is because this is the first time I was able to say
speak.
something.
Yeah.
I've said nothing.
Okay, to give a little heads up to this next part of the video. This is like where I did some editing here. He's beginning to speak about the two girls that are his girlfriends that still live with him. He's explaining basically how they initially met. So just wanted to give you some background there. And like I said, I'll still jump in to give you my thoughts and some questions that I thought would have been something I would have raised in my own mind that I would like to have answers to.
She started promoting that Joycelyn could sing, and she was a singer, and she's trying to be a singer, and wanted me to produce her and whatever. I said, well, let her sing. She sang, and she couldn't sing.
But how does it go from she can't sing, you don't think she has a talent that you like, but she ends up being with you, spending time with you, living with you?
Because I'm not with her for her talent. When I saw her on stage, nothing about her told me she sing. I don't have I can't say, oh, that girl sing. It's because she was beautiful.
Do you still expect people to buy your music? How do you think your music should sit with people?
Absolutely, I think they should. Although a lot of them may not, but like I said, I'm really not fighting for my career here. I'm fighting for my rights, and I'm fighting to have a relationship with my kids most of all, more than anything. I want a relationship with my kids because I've missed a lot of years of their life. They love me. I love them.
And they want a relationship with you,
I bet you they do.
Yeah.
I bet my breath on it. But they're pressured, and I get it. They're pressured, so I get it. But I believe that's going to change in due time.
You have daughters. If your daughters called you and said that somebody is doing to them what the allegations are about you, would you be okay with that?
Let me tell you something. I'll be up in that mother, everything up. I had to bleep myself, but I would be everything
If your daughters
up.
came to you and said, look, this guy is doing to me what the allegations are against you.
Then I would have to arrest myself after I did what I had to do.
You've been very candid that you are a sexual abuse survivor yourself. You've talked very candidly that you were molested from the ages of 7 to 13, 14. How do you think that has affected you?
It hasn't affected me at all. I mean, it has affected me in a way, though. Yeah. It affected me in this way. Anything that I've been through, or any struggles I've had in my past, has affected my music. It has,
Has it affected your behavior?
Absolutely not. Because I'm going to tell you something, I know people think, oh, well, he was abused.
Exactly.
Well, that's why he's doing that. No.
No, the experts will tell you this. Most people who are abusers have been abused, but not all people that have been abused go out and abuse others.
Okay.
And so that's why I asked the question.
That's what the experts said?
That is what the experts said.
But they didn't say all, did they?
No, they didn't. No,
all right.
No.
Here I stand.
So that's why I'm asking
I'm in the
you.
not all. I'm in the not all, okay? But they also didn't say when you're R. Kelly, okay, and you're famous and your name is ringing 25 million times a day all over the world, okay, of people trying to get money from you, okay, and they're using your past. They're using the past allegations, the past case that he beat to link it on to that, okay? They're using that.
When you say that you need help, do you think you need to go to therapy? Have you been to therapy?
Absolutely. At this point, I'm definitely talking about that.
About going?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. It seems like, some could say you might seem out of touch to a lot of people.
What do you mean?
Well, I mean, your perception of the charges against you. I know it's your side and it's your story, but you have a different perception that most of the world has about you.
No, I have a truth. People have perception.
People have their perception.
I have truth.
Do you think you're invincible?
Oh, absolutely not. I just think I'm human.
What is your relationship with them?
I love them, and it's like they're my girlfriends. It's like, we have a relationship. It's real. And I know guys, like, I've known guys all my life to have 5 or 6 women, okay? So don't go there on me, okay? Because that's the truth.
The fact that they're much younger than you.
I don't look at much younger than me. I just look at legal. I just look at you're you, I'm me. Now, I don't know if you're married. I don't know. I don't know if you had a relationship. I don't know what I don't know. Mm-hmm. But one might be older than the other. Mm-hmm. One might be younger than the other, okay? So I just look at legal, okay? People, there are older men that like younger women.
Is that
there
you?
are younger women that like older men.
Are you an older man that likes younger women?
I'm an older man that love all women.
Okay.
I didn't go looking for a Jocelyn Savage. I was doing my show. He brought her and asked a friend of mine to put her on the stage with R. Kelly. Make sure she's on the stage.
Azriel Clary, what is your relationship with her?
Right now, I'm seeing her.
You were seeing her?
Yeah, she's 21. I'm seeing her.
She's 21.
Yeah.
But did you start seeing her at 17?
Absolutely not.
Did you have sex with her when she was 17?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Although her parents wanted me to.
No, her parents claim they have text messages that show that you had sex with her when she was 17.
Claim.
So you're saying you did not have sex with her when she was 17?
Absolutely not.
You are with 2 women right now. You love them. They say they love you. What kind of love is it that keeps these young women away from their families? Their families are saying.
These?
I'm talking right now about Jocelyn
because
and
Azriel. I'm gonna answer your question.
What kind of love
father,
is that?
What kind of father? What kind of mother will sell their daughter to a man?
Who did that?
How come it was okay for me to see them until they wasn't getting no money from it? Why would you take your daughter, if I were gonna take my daughter and she's 19 years old, to a 49-year-old icon, whatever, celebrity, or R. Kelly concert, or whoever it is, I'm not gonna put her on the stage and leave her. I'm gonna take her to the concert. Their father is more into my music and know about my music than they do.
You're saying the parents handed their daughters, Azriel and Jocelyn, over to you? Is that what you're saying to us?
Absolutely. Are the cameras still going?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Okay, now right here in particular, he just mentioned that the parents of both girls that are his girlfriends, the word he used, sold them to him. So in other words, the parents were looking for money, payday, and they brought their much younger daughters to the concert expressly for the purpose of introducing their daughters to R. Kelly. Now, I'm not really, again, I don't want to attack R. Kelly and make it seem like I'm even attacking him. I'm trying to get more information to get more light shown on the unknown that we all have since we all weren't there. So the first question I'm going to in following up what he's saying, when you say that both of the current girlfriends were sold to you, were any of the other accusers in the past, were they sold to you? I'm trying to establish any type of consistent pattern, whether it be a pattern that shows he's not guilty or not doing not having done the things he's being accused of, or a pattern that would help us all see, yeah, he did do it. I mean, whatever it may lead to, I'm going to ask that question. Anyone else in the past who said these lies about you, were they sold to you by their parents or anyone else? Like, another question I would follow up with, if I'm allowed to, why would you want to get involved in that type of an arrangement? In other words, if they're being sold to you, if you know they're looking for a payday, and I don't mean here, R. Kelly, here's my daughter, where's my money, pay me for. I mean, I understand that he wants money. They want money in a little bit more sophisticated way than that, not like slaves being sold at auction or something like that. So I understand it's a little bit more sophisticated than that. But I'm saying, why would you want to get involved in that type of an arrangement to be involved. He's already raised concerns earlier in the interview that people can use social media, as he's saying that people who have accused him and all said the same lie, even though they don't know each other. But then basically he suggested that that's the power of social media, where you can actually use what's happened to him in the past with his legal problems with whether or not he was with the underage girl in the video before he was acquitted of that. He's saying that that could be used to basically give birth to new lies that all are the same. So my question would then be, since you know that you are a target, would you not have concerns about parents who are now, and as you said, trying to sell? I mean, what were your thoughts? Were you thinking in those terms that you might not want to go in this direction, if you know? I mean, something like that, just to, again, not to make him feel attacked or make him feel like I'm judging that he's guilty or anything like that, but questions I think that could shine more light on that. So I think that was something that was not asked, that I would have asked in that way. Now I'm going to go ahead and show the rest of the interview. Now this actually is going to start with the two girlfriends. You get to hear what they have to say. Just for background information, R. Kelly, they all came together. R. Kelly, from what I understood, at one point it was agreed that he would not be in the same room when they gave the interview because of that whole speculation that he's controlling them. So if he's in the same room, he's going to make sure they say what he wants them to say. But then I heard that after it had been agreed upon that he would not be in the room, he actually ended up being in the room. If I interpreted what I heard correctly, so you won't ever see him or hear him in this segment, but apparently he was in the room as the two girlfriends were being interviewed. And again, I want to give thanks to the YouTube channel Ladies Night for the video footage, and then definitely thanks to CBS for the usage of their interview footage as well. So we'll go ahead and pick up with the rest of the interview with the girlfriends now.
What is your relationship, both of you, with R. Kelly?
We're with him. That's our relationship.
We're with him. Yeah, that's what it is.
And we're in a relationship with him.
Right.
You just said it.
A very strong relationship as well.
Both of you?
Yes, most definitely.
You know, how do we say this without being inappropriate? Is this a three-way relationship, or do you each have a separate relationship with him? How does this work?
Well, both
I'm
of
curious.
those.
Yeah.
We
Both
both
of
have
those?
our individual relationships with him, and
Right.
we all are family all together. We have our moments where we sit and watch movies all together. We go to amusement parks all together.
I'm not talking about Azrael going to movies and sitting watching, going to parks. I'm talking about, is it a three-way sexual relationship?
Sexually, well, first of
between
all,
the
I'm
three
not
of you?
here to talk about my personal life,
Okay.
and I would never share with no one what I do in or outside of the bedroom. And as a woman, I'm sure you would not either.
Yes.
No, I wouldn't, but
Okay, then. So,
no,
yeah.
no, you're
Next
right.
question.
No, you're right. I would not, but this is a very different circumstance.
It's
And
not
I
a
think
different
it's a fair
circumstance. There are
question.
people all over the world who have multiple girlfriends. It's no different.
Do both of you all believe you're in love with him?
Absolutely.
course.
Yes, absolutely.
Of course.
Should your
No.
parents be concerned?
No.
Why?
Well, my parents knew where I have always been for 4 years. They have known. They know that I've been well taken care of.
They never thought you were missing, Azrael. They just were wondering if you were okay.
Well, my parents have actually came to Chicago and seen me a few times. I've talked to them. They stopped answering my calls.
You know what they say? They say that you were brainwashed. I talked to your dad last night. He says, my daughter is brainwashed, and he's very concerned. He said he was here 2 days ago, and you wouldn't even look him in the eye.
Okay, I wouldn't look him in the eye because he's a liar, and he's a manipulative liar.
I'll tell you why they're concerned, Azrael, because they say she's 17. We found text messages that indicated that she was having sex with R. Kelly when she was
No.
17. Is that true?
No, that is a lie. That is a lie. I was not having sex with him at 17.
Why would they want to lie about you, their daughter?
Okay, so when I first met Robert, my parents told me to lie about my age. So when I met him, he thought that I was 18. On top of that, when I was 17, my parents were actually making me, trying to get me to take photos with him, take sexual videos with him, all kinds of stuff.
Wait. Your parents encouraged you to do sexual videos
Yes.
with R. Kelly?
Yes. And they said because if they ever have to blackmail him, what they're trying to do now, they can use it against him, which is exactly what they're doing.
Joycelyn, I see you nodding a lot with what
Yes.
she's saying. Why are you nodding in agreement with what she's saying?
Because everything that she's saying is true. Our parents are basically out here just to get money, and
Your
they're
parents,
scamming.
you're saying the same as saying?
Well, both of our parents are basically out here to trying to get money and scam because they didn't agree on what happened, you know, with music or wherever it could be, and they're just very upset.
This is the first time hearing, to be honest with you, that your parents are trying to get money from R. Kelly.
Okay.
Because your father told a very different story
Yeah,
to me
well,
last night.
Yeah, he's the manipulative. He's very manipulative, so he's the one you need to watch out for. But my dad and my mom, they started to send threats to both me and him. They said, oh, I'll put all your naked pictures all over the world. I'm going to ruin you. I'm going to ruin him. If he doesn't send $20,000 to this bank account by Monday, oh, I'm going to put everything out there and then $10,000 after that. You're trying to solicit me like I'm some hoe. I'm not. I'm your child.
Exactly.
Okay, now right here, just after having the two girlfriends, Azriel, state that it was her parents' idea to have her lie to R. Kelly about her age to present herself as 18 when she was really 17. And also she added that it was her parents' idea to have her be underaged and have nude photos and also nude sexual videos, sexual photos, nude photos involved with R. Kelly as a way of providing proof for the future possibility of a lawsuit to get money from R. Kelly. And the questions that Gayle asked I don't have a problem with, but what I would have wanted to again bring up, not trying to attack either of the girlfriends, but trying to get again more information, since Azriel definitely stated later on in that little segment there that she was threatened by her parents to have those photos exposed, those nude photos. That to me implies that she actually did not only take nude photos, but that her parents knew she went ahead and took nude photos. So the question I have is, how old were you in those photos? I would have asked, how long did R. Kelly not know that you were 17 when you were really 18 if your parents had that? First I would have tried to establish, so when R. Kelly first met you, as far as he knew, you were 18. I would have tried to present it like that. And then if, assuming that answer is yes, I think that's why Azriel would have brought it up, but at least would have given her the opportunity to further clarify, saying, no, I didn't go along with the lie. I'm just saying that's what my parents, whatever she would have said, that would have given her the opportunity to give us that information as the viewer in terms of how that all worked out with lying about the age, as she says, at the suggestion of her parents. And also, I would have tried to make it clear to see if Jocelyn, I don't think Jocelyn was, but I at least would have tried to establish that Jocelyn was not told to lie about her age when R. Kelly first met her. From what I understand, she was not made to, but at least I would have tried to make a distinguishment so you wouldn't have the misconception out there that both girls were underage and that they were both trying to get with R. Kelly underage, since that's what he was on trial for before. And so that's something I just wanted to bring up there. I'm going to go ahead and show the remaining portions of the video. I'll go ahead and stop. Again, if I have thoughts and or questions that I would have asked, I'll go ahead and do so.
Yeah, you sound very angry with your parents. You sound very angry and very pained. Tell me, Azriel, why you're crying. Tell me.
I'm crying because you guys don't know the truth. You guys believe in some facade that our parents are saying. This is all lies for money. And if you can't see that, you're ignorant and you're stupid as because you want to be. All because that's the world we live in. Negativity sells.
Exactly.
Gossip is what sells. Rumors are what sells.
Exactly.
But Jocelyn and Azriel, this is more than gossip. This is more than just rumors. These are decades of allegations against Robert Kelly.
We're not here to talk about decades. We're here to talk about what our parents are doing right now.
Right.
And what they're doing right now is all for money.
Right.
Do either of you want to sing?
No.
No.
None of you have any singing ambitions?
No.
No.
That's
do not.
That's another lie.
Yeah.
That's another lie.
Yeah.
Trust me. No, we
Yes,
did not
I did
want
hear
to
that
sing.
you wanted to sing. I
No,
heard that you
I
wanted
did
to
not.
sing. So
Let me tell you something about singing, actually.
Okay.
Before I even met R. Kelly, I told my parents I did not want to sing. My parents made singing like a job for me. It's not something I wanted to do. And not only that, I even tried to kill myself because I did not want to sing, as a cry out for help, to tell them this is not what I want to do with my life. This is not how I want to spend my life.
Yeah, your father told me that you had tried to take your life and that the only thing that made you happy was singing.
No.
And that's why he
a
became
lie.
involved with R.
Let me tell
Kelly
you something.
to help you.
No.
Okay, now right here, the whole question of the singing at her parents' side of the story is that she sang in order to make herself feel better. There's a medical record as a result of her attempted suicide. It doesn't cover this. I didn't decide to show this in the video, just give you background information. The medical record shows that the official reason for the suicide was based upon Azriel having broken up with her boyfriend. So her parents' side of the story, she committed suicide having nothing to do with the pressures of being, quote unquote, well, for lack of a better way of putting it, her parents pushing her so hard to be a singer that it stopped being fun and became like a job, as she put it to her, as she put it in her words. And that's the pressure that led to her attempted suicide. And her parents saying it was her emotional reaction to having broken up with her boyfriend at the time that led to her suicide attempt. And that's the parent side of the version of what happened, is what's on the medical records as well. Now, this is just some thoughts I have on that. I don't know which one's the truth, whether or not it was the music aspirations that her parents had that they tried to basically force onto Azriel, and that pressure of trying to live up to your parents that all led to the suicide attempt. I don't know if that's the case or not. I can tell you just from my own personal experience, I used to coach sports, and if I had money for every child that I knew personally from coaching them, or every child that I knew of just from being in the coaching world, where the parents were so over the top and living through their child that they made that sport no longer fun for that child. If I had got paid for that, I would not have needed to get paid for the actual coaching job itself. It happens all the time. Parents try to live their dreams through their child, and it basically ruins that child's enjoyment of what it is they're doing, whether it be playing the sport when I coached them, or in this case, as Azriel was saying, they did the same thing with her singing aspirations. So with her being a teenager, again, because the whole thing is she was 17 when she was first introduced to R. Kelly, so any boyfriend she would have had before that, she would have still been a teenager. Those are very, very, very trying times in terms of dealing with the new hormones as you go from child to adult. You have everything seems magnified. So when you break up with the boyfriend in the 7th, 8th grade, it seems like the end of the world. Like you can't, like when you are with a boyfriend, you're with the love of your life, you're going to marry him, and you're 13 years old. You know you already met your husband. I mean, that's the way teenagers are. So it's not hard for me to believe that it's a combination of everything. That well, again, just to throw this out here in terms of what my thoughts are, maybe she's telling the truth as it is, that it has nothing to do with the boyfriend. It was the singing itself that led to her attempt at suicide. Maybe the parents are being truthful, where it had nothing to do with the singing. And it was, as the parents say, it was the singing that made her feel better about all the stuff she was going through, including the breakup of her boyfriend, which led to her suicide. I'm saying maybe it's everything. Maybe the pressure she feels from singing from her parents, maybe the whole situation with her boyfriend breakup, maybe, and again, with her going through her teenage years, maybe all of that came down upon her in a way that culminated in her attempting to suicide. Maybe that's all of it. So then maybe as a way of trying to and then who, if that were the case, that medical record that says only the boyfriend breakup was the reason, who's to say that that wasn't a family decision where they would not get into other details about the singing part of it? They just would, maybe she's saying, okay, well, in exchange, in exchange for me agreeing to the story that it's the boyfriend breakup. And again, if she's a minor, maybe her parents are the only ones who does give that version. I'm not sure. I don't know. I don't know how that works in terms of what goes on the official medical record. But maybe that's what the agreement is, where they say, okay, well, you stop forcing this music on me, and we can just go with the we won't bring that part up, so it stays in the family. And we'll just go ahead and say it's the boyfriend breakup that led to the suicide. So I don't know. These are just questions that I have on my own. I'm not going to ask Azriel or the parents about this, at least not at the point in the interview is taking place. Maybe a follow-up interview down the line, it might be a good question to bring up to find out more about. But I know this is meant to be a joke, but from having watched the television show House, the medical show House, everybody lies when it comes to the medical background and procedure. So just because it's on the medical record doesn't necessarily mean that that's actually the truth of what happened. It just means that it's definitely true that it's on the medical record. So, but again, there's no way to know, but those are questions that pop into my head in terms of how that works, especially given the age range of a typical American teenager. So I'll go ahead and show the rest of the video. I just want to share those thoughts with you at this time.
Neither one of you want to sing. What do you want to do in terms of a job or career? Are you happy just doing what you're doing?
Honestly, I'm happy doing what I'm doing. I haven't figured out what I want to do with my life, but I know when that time comes, we know Rob is going to support us regardless.
Right. Most definitely. He's our full support, and with his full support, and all we need is each other.
Okay, that wraps up all the interview video footage. This last segment here is an actual recording from the home of Jocelyn's parents. This apparently took place about a half hour after the interviews were conducted with Gayle King, where Jocelyn called home. I'm just going to let you listen to it. I don't really have any thoughts or questions I would ask in this moment because it's not an interview process. I just figured it might be nice background information, and I'll come back as soon as the video is over. It's only a couple of minutes long, and as soon as it's over, I'm going to share some final thoughts as well about everything that's been shown so far in this video.
Hi, hello?
Hey, Jocelyn, this is Mommy.
Hi, this is Jocelyn. I just want to let you know, like right now, I need you to listen, like really listen to me. I have told you guys a million of times that I am okay where I am, and I'm happy. So I just really want to let you know that.
Who's listening to this conversation?
I'm telling you, nobody's listening to this conversation. This is me talking. Your own daughter. This is your daughter talking. I'm letting you know.
Jocelyn, Joy.
Million times, plenty of times that I'm okay. You know that I'm happy. You know exactly where I'm at, and you need to stop. You just need
Hey, Jocelyn.
Okay.
Hey, Jocelyn.
Good.
It's Jory. We love you, Jocelyn. We love you,
Love
Jocelyn.
you too. I love you too. Please put,
Can you please come home?
I love you too. Please put her back on the phone.
Can you please
I'm
come
here,
home?
I'm here, Jocelyn.
Okay. Like I said a million times, Mom, I am not helping.
Can you please come home?
I'm not. Do you hear me? Do you hear me?
I'm listening to you, Jocelyn.
Okay. I'm happy where I'm at. I told you a million times where I am, and I am very happy.
Why haven't you been able to call? Why haven't you been able to call anybody in your family or friends?
Okay, I get what you're saying, but I need you to understand.
I understand you're happy, but why haven't you been able to call any of your family or your friends to come to your granddaddy's funeral, and you know your grandmother has stage 4 cancer, you haven't called her, and they're very worried?
Okay. I understand that, but I'm just letting you know I need you guys to understand that I'm very happy.
How will we know you're happy when we don't hear from you in 2 years?
Okay. Well, I have to go now.
I love you, Jocelyn.
to go now.
You have to go. Mommy.
Okay, that was the recording of the phone call that Joycelyn made to her family. And like I said, I just let that speak for itself in terms of what was going on in that particular video footage. I do want to thank the YouTube channel Big N News for that video that you just saw of the phone call between Joycelyn and her family. And the again, I'm not one to like do the whole gossip thing where I'm trying to live someone else's lives that they're living, and or to pass judgment on here's where they're doing something wrong, here's why I believe them, whether what they're doing is right. They have their own lives, I have mine. I'm just here to share my thoughts. Like I said, this is the top interesting topic of the past week or so. It's been going on a lot longer than that. If you really follow that, I don't. I'm not necessarily an R. Kelly fan. I don't think I can even name you 5 songs that he's done. There are some songs that he's done that I know of, and I like them. Doesn't really affect me one way or the other in terms of whether or not I'm quote unquote supporting R. Kelly. I never have supported R. Kelly. I don't think I've supported many people that I listen to. I'll like their music or I won't like their music, and that's about it. I don't buy music from anyone. I don't buy any artist's music. I just, if I need to listen to it, I'll listen to it on the radio or listen to it on YouTube. Then that'll be about it. But something that did strike me, because of course the obvious question is this an example, especially with that last video footage, is this an example of R. Kelly basically controlling the 2 girlfriends so that they really are trying to present to the world that they are free to come and go as they please, and they have they're of their own free will, and they're happy there, they're not being held by some quote unquote monster? Is that just what he's forcing them to say, or are they really truthful when they say they're free to do whatever they want? They choose to be there because they want to be there. If to take the possibility that they are being held by force, where they brainwash, or however you may wish to describe it, that's how Azriel's parents described it, that she's been brainwashed, as if they're in a cult or something. Let's say that is the case. From R. Kelly's perspective, it's a dangerous and a precarious situation for him, because the 2 girlfriends that are living with him, they can still come out. I mean, literally, they can come out any day from here on out to eternity. They can come out later and say that they were brainwashed or forced to say the things that they said, and who won't believe them? I mean, even if you I guess if you believe that R. Kelly's being set up, where he's just have people lying on him, and the nature of relationships at some point, they will tend to come to an end. So if you're a boyfriend and girlfriend, unless you're getting married, that relationship's going to come to an end. Even if you are married, so half the statistics will show that 50% of those marriages at some point will come to an end. Who's to say that if it does end with either one of them or with both of them, that they don't then change their mind? Maybe it doesn't end on good terms. Maybe it ends badly. And again, taking the position that he did do it, they still have that parachute later on, so to speak, where they can still come out and say, yes, I was being held. That whole thing was staged. It was all a front. It was not true at all. Or it could be a lie where they really were free to go. But again, since we aren't there, they could just say, I'm going to get back at R. Kelly. I'm going to get back at him for doing it as the way he did it. So I'm going to say that he was holding us, even if they weren't. And it just puts him in a bad situation in the first place. And it's just strange to me why this would even have taken place with the interview. But I wanted to show the video to those who maybe had not seen it, or at least present, like I said, the questions that I would have asked if I could, because I thought it would have helped bring more information to our awareness, so we can help determine, again, the veracity of this whole episode of their lives. You never want to think of anybody being held against their will. That's about as horrible as it gets when you're not free to be your own individual, when you're in essence a slave. This country has its own history with that. Most countries around the world have their history with slaves at some point in time. So that's a terrible thing for sure if it is the case, but I don't wish to pass judgment. I don't know. So, like I said earlier, in the absence of knowing, I have questions. So hopefully you were able to get something from this. Please, again, share your thoughts down below. Hit the like and subscribe buttons. View my other videos. I tend to bring an analytical point of view to the topics that I speak out about. There are other videos where I don't give any analytical views at all. It's just interesting viewing I thought you might enjoy. So check out the links below in the description for those other videos. And again, please hit the subscribe button and press like and share your comments below. And as always, be good to each other and treat each other with respect. Thank you.